What will the car of the future look like? The automotive industry is experiencing the biggest upheaval in its history. If you look at a photo of New York City on New Year's Eve in 1901, you see streets packed with horses and buggies. Fast forward to a photo taken from the same angle in 1914, and there is no trace of the buggies. They had been replaced by automobiles. After decades of auto technology that had evolved only marginally since the mid-20th century, experts say we're now seeing a super-fast shift that's comparable to the industry's early days. In the last 30 to 40 years, the way cars were manufactured didn't change much, says Ozgur Tohumcu, CEO of the car tech company Tantalum. But now things are fundamentally changing, and very quickly. Quickly, indeed. Here's a look at some of the cool innovations we're likely to see in the next generation of cars for your car. High on the list of innovations is the introduction of Alexa-like personal assistants. You'll be able to interact with your car through voice command, says Tohumcu. One scenario, you might be driving and looking for a parking space. All you'll have to do is say "find parking," and your vehicle will navigate you to the closest, least expensive, safest garage, based on your program preferences. And then pay the fee with your credit card. Mechanic on wheels. Cars will be able to diagnose their own mechanical problems. If it's a software fix that's needed, you'll get an upgrade, Tohumcu says. If you need to take the car to a mechanic, the car will research the options and book itself an appointment. It will be able to renew its own insurance and look for better deals, too. More map options. As navigational maps get overlaid with more data, you'll be able to choose your route based on a broadening array of criteria, including least polluted. People will be taken from point A to point B through better air quality routes, Tohumcu says. If you're an older person or you have chronic asthma, this becomes a real benefit. Other possibilities: safest route and most scenic. A doctor in your car. Ford is leading the way toward technology that monitors health from the driver's seat. The company has already developed an electrocardiography reader that monitors heart function through sensors in the seat that don't need to touch the skin in order to function. In the works, technology to monitor glucose levels of people with diabetes. People with heart disease and diabetes already monitor their health at home. This technology will enable them to do it from the car. Brain-assisted vehicles. Many crashes could be avoided if the driver had swerved or braked just a tiny bit faster. If Nissan has its way, brainwave technology will make that possible. By detecting whether a driver is about to perform one of those functions, the brain-to-vehicle technology could speed up the process by up to a half second. The driver will have to wear a headset full of electrodes, which the company is trying to make wireless and as unobtrusive as possible. Intelligent dashboards. Augmented reality dashboards are already a reality in BMW vehicles, but industry experts predict that 70% of new cars will incorporate them by 2020. A boom for safety, these features project information such as speed and turn-by-turn directions onto the windshield directly in the user's field of vision, so there's no need to take your eyes off the road. The electric car. Electric was the first phenomenon to transform cars. When it was first introduced, experts envisaged a specific use for public transport, for example. Beating the predictions, electric cars are slowly emerging as a must-have in all the market segments. It now has numerous technological advantages and its alleged historical weaknesses, such as autonomy, 600 kilometers for the latest Tesla for example, or road performance, no longer apply. This trend has been greatly reinforced by environmental obligations to reduce particle and greenhouse gas emissions. In the years ahead, increasingly powerful hybrid or electric engines will gradually replace the traditional internal combustion engine. The autonomous car. It is the most spectacular revolution. Tomorrow, cars will be able to do without their drivers. This development will be in stages. We start without feet and then do without hands and eventually without eyes, says Pascal Breyer. The first two stages have already been completed. Cruise control has existed for several years. Drivers can set a cruising speed and remove their feet from the pedals. And some cars now offer driver assistance systems that make it possible to remove the hands from the wheel in specific situations such as in traffic jams, or when parking, etc. The next step? 100% autonomy. Engineers are working to replace human eyes with a multitude of cameras, sensors and lasers that will reproduce the environment in 3D and allow the vehicle to make navigation decisions alone. Popularized by Google and its famous Google car, most manufacturers have begun looking at autonomy and are currently in the phase of conducting major tests on the roads. A new method of manufacture. The last major change concerns the industry itself. Tomorrow's factories will be nothing like they are today. All the car's hardware and software architecture is in the process of being redesigned. On one hand, the body is slowly changing to incorporate new technologies such as lightweight composite and 3D printing materials. And on the other hand, to ensure the connectivity and range of the vehicle, numerous smart devices will have to be connected and integrated, including computers, cameras, infotainment centers, etc. This means completely overhauling the car's electronic architecture. Pascal Breyer thinks, we are moving from a wired car to a completely separate network architecture that is in the shape of a vehicle. To conclude, the car of the future, built according to a new model, will be electric, autonomous and connected. It will bring a number of benefits to society: less pollution, more safety, more free time and services. And at the end of it all, a paradigm revolution. Cars will perhaps offer less pleasure driving on the open road, but will offer real transport, safety and connectivity services. Many challenges lie ahead, of course, technological, industrial and legislative, but the transition is already well on its way and the phenomenon will accelerate in the coming years. Many players are opting into the adventure: manufacturers, equipment manufacturers, service providers, telecom operators, web giants, etc. It's a real challenge for the automotive industry. Pascal Breyer enthuses, the car of the future opens amazing doors to technological innovation. We have before us the opportunity to rethink transport.